Welcome back to Solo Adventures! My name is Livy and I'm here yet again with another BGG Solitaire PnP game review. So today the game we're going to be looking at is 9 Circles, a dice game about Dante's Inferno. So as usual, if you're not interested in watching me play this game, you can feel free to skip to the end. Otherwise, let's venture forth. So here we are set up for 9 circles, and the object of this game is to complete all of the various trials of hell in order to finally defeat Lucifer at the very end. And if we succeed, then we win. Thankfully, we have Virgil, who is our companion, and he can help us along the way by changing some of the dice rolls. Okay, so here we are at the first level of hell. This is the level of the Virtuous Pagans. So we need to get a roll of 1. So we can roll either 1, 2, 3, or 4 dice, but then we have to mark off what we used. So maybe I will start with 2. So let's try rolling 2 and see if one of them is a 1. Nope, both of these are 6s. But I can use a Virgil point to flip over one of my die. So I can either add or subtract one number to the dice, or I can just flip it over. So I'm going to use Virgil to flip over this die. And that's a 1. So I have passed this test, but this die was not used in passing the test, so it is discarded from the game. Next is the level of lust. It says, in order to pass, all must be judged by Minos. Which of the 9 circles shall ye be condemned to? Roll a total of 9. So I'm going to try rolling 3. Oh, that wasn't very good. So that's just 5. Now I can choose to roll more dice, or I can re-roll these dice. How about I roll 1 more die? And let's see, 4. And there we go, 9. Perfect. Next we have the level of gluttony. To avoid its furious bites, Virgil casts handfuls of reeking dirt and slime into Cerberus's 3 mouths. We need to roll 3 2s. So I'm gonna try rolling 3. And nothing. Let's try rolling 3 again. Well, I can spend 2 Virgil points to get 2 2s. So I'll turn these 3s into 2s. Now we just have this one. 6. Try it again. Can use a Virgil point to flip this over, and then we have another 2. So there we have our 3 2s. On to the next level. Greed. The greedy are left to perpetually wrestle over unbearable weights. Roll a total of 12. So let's try rolling 4. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We will use a Virgil point and we'll have 12. So there we go. Wrath. To journey across the river Styx, you climb aboard the demon's skiff. That almost rhymes. Roll 2 times total of 10. So we need to roll a total of 10 twice. So start by rolling 4. I'm going to set this 5 and 6 aside. Let's try rolling these two. Six and 4 is 110. And I can use a Virgil point to turn this 6 into a 5. So we beat that one. Level 6 is Heresy. Arriving to the city of Dis, you cast away the many demons lining the walls. Roll 4 consecutive numbers. So we're going to need, at bare minimum, we're going to need 4 dice. We have a 4 and a 5. And here's 2. And we'll use a Virgil point to get a 3. We're really lucky this game. Let's see how long that luck lasts. Violence. Avoid a violent goring at the horns of the Minotaur. You need to roll 5 numbers that are not 5. You can use any combination of dice groups, either separately or together, and immediately discard any 5s. And you cannot use any Virgil pips to change them. Okay, so let's roll 3. And these are 3 dice that are not 5. And we'll roll 2 more. And these are also not 5, so we are very lucky. Fraud. Liars, thieves, cheats, and manipulators. Choose a number 1 through 6 and then roll a pair of them. You may use Virgil pips to alter 1 or more of the dice. So for example, a 3 and a 5 could be altered to make a pair of 4s, for example. I think 4 is a good number to shoot for. Let's try that. So let's roll 2. And we got 1 4. And we'll roll the 1. Nope. Let's roll 2. And there's another 4. However, I didn't use this, so I have to discard it. We're on the last level now. Treachery. Betrayers are sentenced to be torn apart by Lucifer's jaws for the rest of eternity. Roll 3 6s. Okay, let's see if we can do this. We'll roll 4 dice. And I'll use a Virgil point to make that a 6. We'll roll 3. Three 5s. We'll use my last Virgil point to make this a 6. We can't roll any more groups of 2, so let's roll a group of 4. And there's a 6. So we have defeated Lucifer and we win. So what is our final score? Let's take a look. So it says, for your final score, add together the total number of dice you have left, including the 3 successful 6s, plus the number of empty pips, including Virgil's pips. So we have none there. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So our rank is Poet. You exit this accursed place, weary yet steadfast in your determination to share your experiences with the world. So, not too bad, the second highest rank. So that was 9 circles, a pretty fast, quick little game. So how was it? Let's talk about it. So that was 9 circles. What are my thoughts on this game? Well, first off, as usual, we're going to talk about the build. Now, the build for this game is very easy. You just need a single piece of paper and you need 9 dice. There isn't really a build at all, it's pretty much instant. And if you want to have a full color version that you can reuse, of course, you can be like me and you can laminate it and use a wet erase marker. The art of this game is a little bit weird to me. When I look at it, it doesn't really look like hell, in my opinion. I can definitely see like the 9 circles basically, and now that I know that it's, you know, Dante's Inferno that I'm looking at, I understand it. But I think hell might be just a little bit too colorful. It kind of has this psychedelic 1960s, 1970s kind of art look to it. I feel like a game about venturing through hell should feel a lot more perilous and sinister. But that's just my opinion, of course. So what did I like about this game? Well, I like quick, short, simple little dice games, and this game is exactly that. It's quick, short, and simple. It's easy to just pull out, play really quickly, and then put away again. Since you can always go back and try to beat your high score, there is a reason to revisit it. I like how each of the 9 circles of hell has their own challenge. And I also appreciate the fact that the designer went through the trouble of adding a description of, you know, what the challenge is on every level. I also really like how you slowly lose dice over time. If you roll dice but they don't end up being used in the winning combination, then they are discarded from the game forever. To me, this really feels, you know, how it would be if you're Dante venturing through hell. You're becoming weaker and weaker. You're becoming more and more exhausted moving through hell, so you have less energy to deal with the danger that presents itself to you. I like the risk that goes into trying to meet the challenges then. You don't just always roll the maximum number of dice that you can. You want to think carefully. Because, of course, if you roll 4 dice, but you only need 3 to beat the challenge, then 1 is going to be wasted. So what didn't I like about this game? Well, this is a dice game, so of course there's going to be quite a bit of randomness. And that's not necessarily something that I dislike. I'm not entirely sure, but I think the game might be very slightly too easy. I feel like I win about 40% of the time, and I think maybe that's a little bit too high for a game like this. I mean, after all, we are adventuring through hell, and it should feel really special if you manage to make it all the way to the end. I suppose it wouldn't be too hard to make it more difficult though, like if you just started the game with, you know, 1 fewer die. Maybe if the designer like included that in the scoring maybe, that would be cool. I know not everything needs to be spelled out by the designer, but I like to feel validated that I'm playing the game right. I like the theme of this game. I've never played another board game about Dante's Inferno, so that's kind of cool. I like how the 9 layers of hell are progressively more difficult. And I also like how we can rely on Virgil, our poet friend, to help us out in various situations. So, do I think that you should try this game? Yes, definitely. It's amazingly easy to build, just print it out and go. There's really no reason not to play this game. I mean, it could be that you beat it rather quickly and maybe you don't really feel the need to come back to it, but that's okay. So I think the fun to printer ink ratio is perfectly fine. So even though I think that the visual design of this game is a bit off, I still recommend that you try this for a quick, short little romp through hell. I like this game enough that I would actually like to see some sequels to it. It'd be really fun if it would be followed up by Purgatorio and then Paradiso, and maybe your stats somehow carry over from one game to the next, so you can chain them together if you like. I would really like to see this trilogy happen. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and if you want to help support the channel, you can check out my Patreon. You can also check out the Facebook group for all things solo gaming. So until next time, friends, happy adventuring.